When I was born, my feet, from what my mom, the way she illustrated it anyway, my feet were actually turned inward. And she told me, as she tells me now, the doctor said that they didn't believe I was going to be able to walk. So I had these corrective shoes, and the funny thing, the weirdest thing for me is I believe that I actually remember them. I remember seeing them, but I think I actually remember them. So those shoes had this device on the bottom that would allow your feet, it had a bar in between, and it would allow your feet to be able to move from side to side just a little bit, but you could not like turn your foot one way or the other. And like I said, there was a bar between the two, and part of that reason is because it allowed you to be able to walk with that bar, keeping your feet straight. And I remember my mom telling me how I would cry. She basically said that I would just scream and cry every time she had to put those shoes on my feet, because she had to force my foot in position so that she could put them on. I can only imagine what it felt like to listen to your child just scream, and you feel like you're torturing them because you're trying to do something for them so that they can walk again, or so they could actually walk. But with that, my entire life I've had to wear corrective shoes. Well, at least up until high school I did. I've needed to wear them longer, but once I got in high school I didn't. So the shoes that I wore to school were these big old ugly black, everybody else is wearing sneakers at school, and I always begged, Mom, please let me wear sneakers at school, please let me wear sneakers to school. But no, I had to wear these shoes. And the only time I could wear any kind of sneaker was when, I was going in the gym or whatever. And I mean, there was a period in time where they didn't have gym lockers, and you didn't carry an extra pair of shoes to school. I just had to be on the gym floor with them old clunky shoes on. And needless to say, I was picked on terribly, especially in middle school. Things worked out for me pretty well in, my first, second, and third grade years. Elementary school, I was picked on quite a bit as well, but not as much. But when I hit middle school, wearing those shoes, and everybody else is starting to really, all the guys are starting to get their real, getting their love for sports and all of those things. I ended up, I didn't care for those things. I really didn't care. And having built a reputation through elementary school, which I was bullied in elementary school. I remember coming home, a kid kicked me in the stomach. And of course my mom had to go to school. And it was, the only thing that saved me, honestly, from getting bullied more than what I did is because I was known as the kid that would tell. Now they would call you a snitch. No snitching. Whatever. I didn't care. I would tell a teacher, I was quick to do that. But on top of being quick to tell anyone, I was also quick to tear up. I was quick to cry. And that's part of the reason why I was picked on so much, is because they could get an easy reaction from me. And that's the reaction they were looking for. So, middle school, with the corrective shoes and all of that, I'm on my way home. I had a guitar my mom gave me when I was in the second grade. And my music teacher, Miss Thompson, I'll never ever forget her. And the one thing I'll say is there's people in your life that will recognize value in you when you don't see it in yourself. Anyway, I was on my way home one day, and I would carry my guitar to school with me, and there was a couple of kids that would basically follow me home where I lived at. I lived right around the corner from my school, so I could walk to the corner, which was only like 2 to 3 houses. I lived 2 to 3 houses from the corner, and then walk across the street there and across the street again, and I was on the school property, and then just walk down a little ways and go into the front door of the school. So one day it would happen frequently, but this one day I was carrying my guitar and they were trying to take it from me, and that day they were picking on me extremely hard. I mean, really just messing with me, and I was crying. And that day I wasn't crying just because of what they were doing. I was crying because in my mind I was going, why can't I stop? Why is it that I can't stop crying? If I could just stop crying, maybe they would leave me alone. I got to the corner, and there was a gas station. Well, a little gas station, a little garage on the corner there. And there was a guy who owned the gas station. He came out and ran the kids off and called my mom. And my mom came to the corner to get me. That was that was not the last time those kids picked up me. They'd follow me all the way home. Basically to my door. My mom would be standing in the door, and they'd just be saying all kinds of stupid stuff. I've been called so many things. It's ridiculous. Mama's boy, all of this. But I felt so alone. And honestly, most of my life, in similar situations, I felt alone. Now here I am. I'm 48-year-old man. Kids of his own. Never understanding why. I've experienced so many different things based on my being as sensitive as I am, and emotional and empathetic. And it took me 47 years out of 48 to finally see the value in who I am. And I'm sitting here, I'm telling you, all of this just tearing up and all this kind of stuff. And trust me, I'm trying to hold a little bit of that in, but I felt like it was necessary. You need to understand something. You see AlTone every morning, Monday morning, full of fire, full of enthusiasm, full of trying to motivate you. You see that. But I want you to understand why I'm here. That title has 2 different meanings for me. Why I'm here is because I know that I'm not the only one in this world who, because of being sensitive being as looking for approval from others, and desiring that approval, but not really knowing how to get it, and not knowing that what people think doesn't matter. 40 some years. Excuse me. Oh, I gotta fix this. Okay. Got my box of tissue. I'm good. But 40 some years I've been trying to find value within myself, even though no one else, or I'm not going to say no one else, because many people did see the value, but so many people couldn't. So many people didn't see it. And I realized that if I've found a level of success within myself. I've found a level of success. I've accomplished things that I have to be grateful, because I've accomplished many things that a lot of people wish they could. But I would have accomplished so much more if I hadn't fought through, or had to fight through, truly finding value in myself. Truly understanding that I am valuable. Truly understanding that there's something in me that needs to come out in order for me to be able to provide what's needed in some way for this world. Now, I will tell you this too. And this one is, here we go. This is really kind of hard. It's hard sometimes to recognize, because like I said, I'm 48, and when I turned 40, that was a really rough year for me, because I felt like, okay, I'm 40 years old and I haven't truly accomplished in life what I wanted to. But like I said, here I am, 48. What I began to realize is that every single thing, every single pain, every single tear, and God knows I've cried a river of tears, as much as I've tried to suppress that. Every single experience was necessary, because those experiences helped me to be the person that I am. And they're tools to help me to be able to share with you just how valuable you truly are. Man, I gotta stop this. You need to know why you're here. and it might not be something that you can get from you can just narrow down to one thing right now. That might not be what it is that you're able to do right now. But you need to know that there's value in you. And that is, man, I can't stop, gosh. Come on, give me together. You need to know. You need to know right now what it is that you have inside you. Come on, get it together. It's important, because I know what it feels like to ask every day, why am I here? Why do I keep feeling the things that I feel? And why is it So many people, no one can seem to appreciate it. You have value. I need you to know that. You may not be as sensitive as I am. You may not be that would sit here and just almost fall apart. You might not be that person. But everybody experiences some type of pain. And everybody experiences at some point asking themselves the question, why am I here? So when I say, why am I here? I'm saying two things. One, I understand why I'm on this planet. I understand that I have value. I understand that sometimes the tears that I shed are not tears for me, but they're for somebody else that's going through something that they don't know how to handle. And my tears are for them too. But I'm also explaining why I'm here. Because in the middle of all of this, in the years of feeling like I was alone and misunderstood, I think it's necessary to be able to help build a community of people that if you have a desire, you have something in your heart that you want to accomplish, and you feel like you're alone, nobody can understand where it is you're coming from. And many people are just being mean, hiding behind constructive criticism. Constructive criticism is a thing. It is a real thing. It is something that someone who truly cares for you will give you. But there's many people that will hide behind what they call constructive criticism just so that they can get that meanness and that bullying out of their heart and their mind. So they can just be that individual, that mean individual that they want to be. And so I feel like it's necessary for you to be able to share who you are with the world, recognizing the value that you have within yourself. And it's necessary for us to have a place. And I know that there's people out there, and sometimes we're hard to find, so I have to make this bold step and say, hey, you know what, here's a place. Because I don't want another person, another individual. I don't care whether you're 18, 19, 20, 40, 50, 60. I don't want another person to have to deal with living another day, another minute, another second, feeling like they're the only ones that can't seem to find that value, that doesn't seem to have that support. I want it to be a place where you can find it. So I'm going to end this with this. Be passionate. Be creative. Be courageous. Be strong. But most of all, be yourself. And understand that you are a wonderful, wonderful, unique individual.